Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you all of the products that I use on my hair and also how I curl my hair. So obviously this is just like air dried overnight hair. I washed it last night and I'm going to be like finessing it today with you, but I'm going to talk you through all the products that I use, the routine that I do, basically the treatments, etc. And then I'm going to do my hair, show you how I do that. I did have a comment a little while ago asking how I curl my hair, so this is how I do it. It's very, very simple. I feel a little bit silly talking about it because this is just, I don't know, I feel like it's quite simple, but if you don't know how to do it then whatever. I'm here to tell you all of my secrets, which is like basically none at all. So firstly, my like hair washing routine. I only wash my hair once a week. I don't really have very oily hair. I suffer more with dry hair, which is why I only like to wash it once a week. But there are a couple of treatments and things that I like to use to help my scalp health, basically. So before I wash my hair, I go in with this, and I use this every single time because I only wash my hair once a week. This is the by Beauty Bay Scalp Serum, Exfoliate and Cleanse. I could not even tell you how many of these I have been through. I must have 10 empties in my box here, all of the empty products that I've used up so far this year, and I must have 10 of these in there. I absolutely cannot live without this now. Like I say, I suffer more with dryness than oiliness, and this is like anti-dandruff, targeting, exfoliating the skin on your scalp and like giving it a really good cleanse before you get into the shower. So it says to only leave this on for 10 minutes. I definitely leave it on for longer than that. I put this on last night. It's basically got a nozzle on it, and I don't want to do it now because my hair's clean, but if I put the nozzle on I can show you. I just like go all over my scalp like this, squeezing the bottle and dispersing a little bit of product. I would say one of these I maybe get like 3 or 4 uses out of, and you apply this all over your scalp, and then I just like very, very lightly massage it in. So obviously this is on like dirty hair. Before you've washed it, before you've done anything, before you get in the shower or the bath, massage it into my hair. And like I say, it says to leave it for 10 minutes. I definitely left it for like 2.5 hours last night. I just like tie my hair up and get on with my evening. I had my tea and then I had a shower before I went to bed. Then when I got in the shower, I am really a big old fan of a shampoo bar. I have tried many over this whole year. Well, I've tried them previously, but this year I've gone cruelty free. So like trying to find a plastic free, cruelty free shampoo bar has been a little bit difficult, but this is absolutely my favourite one. This is a little mini, but I've been using this for a couple of weeks now. This is the Wild Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt. They do have it in other scents as well. This is just the one that I've used. Lathers up really nicely, leaves my hair feeling really nice and clean. Like I say, I've tried a lot of products this year, a lot of different shampoo bars and also just shampoos, and there's not a lot that I feel very passionately about. There's not a lot where I'm like, that's the one that I'm going to keep on buying. Whereas this, I would absolutely go out and repurchase this, and indeed I will go out and repurchase the actual full size of this because I think that it's actually like cleaning my hair really nicely, but without feeling really stripped or dry, anything like that. Another product that I've really struggled to like get down this year, like I say, I've gone cruelty free, so I've been like trying to find so many new products where I would normally just go and buy whatever. I've had to be a little bit more mindful about it, and this hair mask is what I've absolutely been loving. This is actually empty. I finished it up last night. So this is the extract, so it's Superdrug's own brand, banana 3-in-1 hair mask. And when I tell you it smells incredible, it smells like those banana-y sweets, like the foamy banana sweets. So nice. I really, really like the way that it leaves my hair feeling. I just use this, it says hair mask, I just use it like a regular conditioner. I will like put it in my hair, you know, shave what I need to shave, etc., wash my face, whatever, and then wash it out. I don't necessarily leave it in forever. If I was having a bath, I would maybe leave it in for a little bit longer. If I'm in the shower, then I'll just do whatever. And again, it leaves my hair feeling really, really lovely. Then I get out of the shower and I just wrap it up in a towel, just a regular old towel. Come for me, I'm using a regular towel. I know you're not necessarily meant to, but I do. And then I put this in. I've been through a whole one of these so far this year, and I have repurchased another one. This is the extract, so again it's Superdrug's own brand, Avocado Oil Conditioning Spray. This I put into my hair when it is still very much wet, out of the shower, just been like wrapped up in a towel. I'll take it out of the towel, I'll spray this in, and then I'll wrap it back up in the towel, and I will leave it so that this can really sink into my hair. Leave it for like 10-15 minutes, and then I brush it. Quite often then I will blow dry it, and I blow dry it on such a cold setting. And when I say blow dry, I just mean like a rough dry, because generally I wash my hair before I go to bed, so I will just like rough dry it on the coldest setting on my hairdryer after I've brushed through it. And then this is the stage that we are at now. So I've woken up this morning, although I didn't do that blow drying thing last night because I was up until 2 AM editing videos, so I didn't blow dry it last night. I just got into bed with my hair completely wet with this in it. So you're all caught up now. That's up to this point. Now I'm going to go in with a heat protectant spray. This is the by Beauty Bay Heat Defense Mist Detangle and Protect. So this is like a detangling spray and a heat protectant. I really enjoy this one. I feel like it has quite a unique texture to it where I feel like it holds my curl. So obviously I'm putting this in on completely dry hair. You can put it in on wet hair. It does say that if you're putting it on dry hair, to let it fully dry before you apply direct heat. So to like before I go in with my curling wand, I will let this completely dry, but I just like spritz this all over. I do use quite a lot of it, but I really want to protect my hair from heat damage, so I go in with quite a bit of this, make sure that every bit of my hair is fully covered in a heat protectant. I don't want any more damage than I already have, and then I will like brush this through and let it air dry into my hair basically. And yeah, I don't know what it is about this spray, but I do feel like I've used up another heat protectant this year, and it protects my hair, obviously that's the point of it, but I don't feel like it does anything for the longevity of my style, for the longevity of the curl that I'm going to put in it. But I do feel like this is, I don't want to say it's like a salt spray because it doesn't feel like crunchy or dry like that, but it has that sort of texture to it. It's a really unique formula. I feel like I've not had a texture spray or a heat protectant like it where I feel like it's actually helping to hold the texture. I don't like to use any sort of hairspray or anything on my hair because I just feel like it dries my hair out, but I do feel like once I started adding this in, I do feel like it helps to hold the curl, which is obviously just another added benefit. So every time I do this curl, I feel like I do it slightly different every single time. Sometimes I will section my hair into 3, sometimes I'll just section it into 2 if I'm wanting something a little bit looser. I think I'm just going to go with 2 today because, yeah, I'm just wanting something a little bit looser, not quite as done. So I'm just going to section off the top half-ish of my head and then clip that up out of the way. So I bring all of my hair forwards I brush it again, and then once I've done a curl, I throw it backwards so I know which bits I've done and which bits I haven't done. So all of this hair, like, I can feel that it has that heat protectant in it. It's still drying a little bit, but I'll talk you through the ones that I use. So this is the one that I have. I feel like I need to hold it up against the wall so that you can see it. This is by the brand Yogi, yogihairwand.com. Honestly, I am nearly 30 and I have had this wand since I was 14. So I don't even know if they make this one. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. You can't change the temperature on it. It's either on or it's off. But this is the size of wand that I use. It's quite thin. I don't know if you can necessarily tell. I'm trying to like show it in different ways so that you can maybe see. It's quite a thin wand and it's slightly thinner at the top than it is at the bottom. It's a fine wand. It was probably very cheap, honestly. It's serving me perfectly fine though, and I will continue to use it until the day that it gives up on me. But this side is definitely dry now, so what I like to do is I take this size of section and I maybe split this into 3-ish, maybe slightly bigger than that. Like I say, every time I do it, I'm just like eyeballing it. So I take around about that much hair. I do quite big sections because I like that more. I like quite a tight curl, but I like it to sort of still be quite soft. I don't want anything that looks like a ringlet. But so I take this size and I go up this way. I'm sorry if you can hear that like dinging. It's the wire hitting the table leg, so I'm ever so sorry if you can hear that. But I try and keep this sort of as flat as possible. I don't want to like twist it like this. I like to keep it sort of straight and uniform-ish, and then I go behind it, so I'm not coming in front like this and curling towards my face. I'm going behind it and I'm doing one wrap, and then I'm like scrunching all of this hair. So up at the top it's sort of going in quite wide, and then where I am holding it with my other hand, I look great, don't I? Where I'm holding it with the other hand, it's all more like clumped together, and I wrap it around and almost, yeah, keep the hair flat. I don't want this to twist as I am wrapping it around the wand. And I just carry on going down, and I leave out the last sort of couple of inches, 2 inches of my hair until the very last minute, basically. I do like to leave my hair in this for quite a while because obviously it's quite a large chunk of hair. I want the heat to get through all of it, so I do leave it probably for around about a minute each section. It does take me quite a while to do my hair, but once I've done it and once I have curled it, then it lasts like a week on me. I will sometimes add a little bit of an extra curl on like the top layers if I am filming later on in the week or whatever, but generally speaking, I like the way that this looks on day one, where it's like bigger curls, and then like throughout the week it'll like settle down a little bit and look more like that beachy lived in wave rather than curls. I do feel like if I were to buy a hair tool now, I would buy one with a longer wand because my hair is very long. And because I like to do quite big sections, I do feel like I would benefit from a longer wand. So I feel like that has been in my hair now for long enough. I'm just going to wrap around the last little bit of hair. I don't have a heat-proof glove either. It definitely came with one. I definitely lost it pretty much instantly. So do be careful. This is a very hot tool. But once that last little bit of hair has got a little bit of heat on it, then I let it out, and that is the curl that we are left with. Can you see that? So it is a long curl. You can absolutely pin it up. Sometimes I do that. I'm not going to be doing that today because I haven't rounded up all of my hair clips. So now I just go on to the next section. And again, I like brush through my hair before each section so that I don't have to brush through it afterwards. And I don't want to like heat a knot into my hair if anywhere is tangled. I don't want that to be left in my hair. So I do brush it before I curl each section. Now this one is slightly thinner, this section, so I am probably not going to leave this on for quite as long. Sometimes I will do a section and put the wand further away from the root, and sometimes I'll do it a little bit closer. Again, it will just do the curl a little bit differently. So if this is like right up to my root like that, then I'll get a tighter curl higher up my hair. I like to have a little bit of a gap in between the root and where the curl starts. I just feel like it suits me a little bit more. And again, I'm leaving out the last 1.5 inches on this section because it's slightly smaller, and then once I feel like the heat is coming through, which it definitely isn't yet, then I'll wrap in the last little section. And again, once I've done a curl, I throw it over my shoulder so that I'm not like getting the same bit more than once. Brush through the next section, and then, oh, I've got my wire caught on my leg. Then do the next section. So all of this bottom half is just 3 sections, and you'll see when I brush this out, or rather when I comb it out, because I don't use a brush once I've curled it, you will see that it just sort of, all of the curls sit together a little bit. They all sort of, I don't want to say clump together because that makes it sound like a bad thing, but it just sort of goes into a wave rather than the like ringlet curls that we've got going on at the minute. So that is all 3 of the curls on this side, and now I'm basically just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So brush through it. I find, because I'm right-handed, I find it more difficult to do the right side of my head. I'm very not coordinated. I find it quite hard to like know where I want all of my limbs to be at any given time, basically. So I just get a similar size chunk and curl. Try and do the same amount of curls on like this bottom half than what we do on this side. So like I say, sometimes I do 4, sometimes I do 3. Today I've done 3, so I'm just going to do 3 on this side as well. So I go in behind the hair again and try and keep it flat. I don't know why I struggle so much on this side of my head. If you curl your hair sort of similar to this, do you struggle doing like one side of your head? When I do my hair normally, I like to do the right hand side first so that I can do the easy side afterwards. So like I can struggle with this side and then I can like treat myself to the left hand side because I find that easier. And that is the exciting, thrilling life that I lead. Like, it's a good day when I get to do the right hand side of my hair first and I treat myself to the left. And also I'm like sitting upright so that you can see what I'm doing, but normally when I do this I'm like sat right back in my chair like this so that I can rest my arm on the back of the chair, so otherwise my arm will fall asleep. Such a struggle, I know. So that is all of the bottom layer of my hair done. I look like I don't even know, like the ringlets are insane, but I do like to leave them. I don't want to brush them out at this stage. I do want to leave them to cool. So I'm gonna go on to the top layer now, and do I want to do just one out of this lot? Probably. So I have a centre parting, so I'm just going to split this, well, sort of centre. It's ever so slightly off to one side. I'm going to separate this out, and like I say, I'm going to do the left hand side first because I find it more difficult, and then I can finish on the easier side, and it just brings me joy. Okay, so clipping up that side, and we've got this whole section. So again, I'm flipping the lower section out of the way, and I'm just gonna give this another brush through, make sure all of that is really nice and smooth. And again, I'm starting at the back. I'm basically doing exactly the same thing. You can do like one curl away from your face and then one curl towards. I like to just do them all away. I like the way that that looks. So I do take, on this top half, I take slightly smaller sections. I do also have layers, so I have some shorter sections of hair anyway, so it is easier to do this top section. There's less hair and I've just already like got the hang of it, you know, got my head around where I need all of these limbs to be. So I will speed you through this whole section, but basically doing the same thing, slightly smaller sections, and they're also, on me, slightly shorter. But again, I am doing that thing where I'm like leaving out the last inch, because I don't feel like you need as much heat on the last little bit of hair as you do on like the rest of it. So that's just how I like to do it. So once I get to the front top section, I have like very short bits that are like face framing bits, and I like to just keep those in with the last section of long hair. I don't want to do this bit separately to the long bit. I want it to ultimately like lay into that curl, so I don't want to do it separate. I don't want to do it by itself. I want it to be a part of that curl. So again, I take the section and I brush it, and then get the wand and I make sure this time that this is completely flat, because otherwise you're going to get a kink. Ooh, and I've dropped it. You're going to get a kink in that little bit of like fringy hair, and it just wrap the whole thing round. Obviously this is a slightly smaller section. It's less hair like down at the bottom. There's more up at the top, obviously, because there's all of those shorter bits. But I like to just make sure that it's all nice and in. There's a few little bits that are sticking out, but ultimately most of that shorter section is in the curl here. And then when I let it out, all of these shorter bits are in here. And then when I comb this out in a moment, it will be, oh, I just caught that on my thumb. All of those bits will be curled in with the rest of it. I'm just slightly going over those ends a little bit more. They were looking a little bit funky. And again, I just completely leave all of this section now to cool down. I'm not fiddling with it or anything like that. Obviously, if you were pinning all of these up, I would do them like as I was going along. So I would do one curl and I would pin it up. The ones that I like to use, I couldn't even tell you where I got these from, but these are like the little creaseless ones. I do really enjoy these. I think I probably just got them on Amazon, but like I say, I don't have enough for all the curls that I'm doing. I think I've got 3 on my table. It does make the curl last longer, but it definitely makes it more of a tighter curl, like it sets as a tighter curl, rather than what we're going for today, which is just a little bit less. Once I've brushed this out, I'm hoping that it will be more of a wave rather than such a tight curl. But let's go on and do the last quadrant. And then once it's all cooled down a little bit, I will show you what I do next. So this is it all curled. I definitely feel like I've got somebody else's hair on my head, but I am going to just let it cool for a little minute now. It will fall a little bit, hopefully. Like you can see, this side is definitely lower than this side that I've literally just done. Like it's still very, very warm. So I'm just gonna let it cool. I'm gonna go off. I'm probably gonna reheat my coffee that's gone completely cold, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so it's been around about 15 minutes. I definitely just got into an Instagram wormhole. We've all been there. Anyway, they've definitely cooled down, and now I need to make this look less like I'm taking part in a pageant. So I go in with more of the Superdrug avocado oil conditioning spray, and I spray this onto, I do like to take my rings off because I don't like to get the oil on them. Still married. I like to spray this into my hand, and I get, I'm not going to be able to show you, I get a bit of this, and then I just start pulling it through all of the curls. And I'm like pulling them down, smooshing them together, that is a technical term, like roughing them up a bit basically, making them sort of sit how I want them to, twisting them like into one another. And again, this doesn't have any sort of hold, that's not why I do it. I like to have, you know, that extra layer of conditioning moisture onto the hair, and also I just feel like it makes the curls sort of sit nicer together. I sort of, you know, twist them around how I want them to look. They're still very much more ringlety than what they will be ultimately, but I do just like to rough them up, separate them out how I want them to go, and I just like adding in that little extra bit of moisture, and I feel like I'm really happy with how they're looking today. Sometimes they go a bit 80s, like the front bits, sometimes they can go a bit much, but happy with how all of that is looking. And yeah, I just sort of keep on playing with them, keep on zhuzhing until I'm happy. I think I'm pretty much there. Sometimes I like to just use my hands, and sometimes I go in with a wide tooth comb. I might just brush through the ends actually with the comb. I don't like to use a brush at this point. I feel like that is where I end up with just too much frizz, and that is all I do. I don't use any sort of hairspray, I don't use any sort of mousse. I find that this will last me a good couple of days looking sort of pretty much like this, and then they'll sort of calm down a little bit. I do have to wear my hair up for work, so that like calms the curls down a little bit more. But that is basically all I do. Oh, and I wanted to mention the dry shampoo that I use as well. So I have tried a few different dry shampoos that are from cruelty-free and affordable brands, and some of them I just feel like they don't do anything at all, but this is my favourite one that I've tried this far. I am open to suggestions if you have any. This is the Superdrug's own brand Volume dry shampoo. I've tried the original one, I've tried ones for brunettes. This is the best one. It does leave that sort of white in your hair. I like to spray this on leave it for like 10 minutes and then really work it into my scalp, and that gets rid of the white. If I need to like refresh my hair, I will put this on the roots, and then I will go in with a little bit of the avocado oil spray again in my hands, and I find just running that oil like through the ends of my hair again and sort of doing this sort of a movement on like day 3, day 4, I do find that sort of livens up the curl again, and that is basically all that I do. So let me know if you are going to use any of these tips or any of these products. I would love to know if you've got any recommendations for me. I am all ears, but until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.